Hello from the new service station at Stone. If I can just figure out which direction I'm going, because I'm going against the arrows. Don't anybody look. Hello. Stone, County Laois. Now, the reason I'm in Stone, County Laois is because I'm on my way to Dublin. And the reason I'm on my way to Dublin is because I have actually started my journey to Holland. First leg obviously is Dublin. I left my house in Mallow, County Cork this morning around 10 o'clock. It is now 1 o'clock. Actually, hang on, I'm looking at the wrong dial. It is 12 o'clock, 12:15 even. And I made a stop in Urlingford for just about 10 minutes because I knew that this particular charge point was literally just turned on yesterday. So I had to go and check it out. A nice squeaky clean charge point. I did a 10-minute charge, as I said. Just something from, I don't know, like 20% up to 50% thereabouts. And I finished it off here in Stone. My next stop now is Naas, and that should get me to the airport, Dublin Airport, where I will be picking up my better half, who is flying back from the UK at present. After spending the night in Dublin, we will be taking the ferry tomorrow morning and go across the Irish Sea to Holyhead in Wales. And Saturday will be spent driving to Hull. Hopefully the journey will go just as smoothly as my journey so far has been. But I've bought a flexi ticket just in case it does not. But first, my next charge point is Naas. I don't think I'll be filming anything because you guys have seen Naas before and you're probably sick and tired of me actually being at charge points. So I shall talk to you guys tomorrow when I'm in Wales, or I might do a bit of a video going on to the ferry. Hello everybody. I am just about to drive down into Dublin from Naas. Sadly, the Naas charge point didn't work, or at least the fast charge. So I moved down to a 22 kilowatts unit, about a kilometre or two down the road. Charged up enough to get to the airport. Whilst I was there, I got an interesting phone call from an ESB engineer who was a little surprised to hear that I had reported the Naas fast charger out of order. And as we were talking, he was asking me how I got along with my trip around Ireland. And hopefully by the time you see this, I will have put that particular video up. But thanks for the lovely chat, it was nice. And yeah, it's good to see that ESB are starting to listen and respond, which is good. Yeah, keep it up. So I am now about 20 kilometres from Dublin, and I've got enough to get to the airport, where there's several chargers in a close proximity, so I'm not too worried about range and chargers not working. We're going to be staying there overnight. Now the hotel itself, to my knowledge, doesn't actually have a charge point, but there is, like I said, plenty close by. So I will do a full charge on one of them before we get on the ferry tomorrow morning, bright and early. The ferry leaves from Dublin at 8:15 in the morning. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to drive down the day before, because I was initially planning on driving from Mallow to Hull in one day, but then I said to myself, look, it's your holiday, so there's no point in trying to drive crazy distances just to prove a point. Besides, I've done 1,800 kilometres around Ireland in 4 days. I think I've proven my point that this car is awesome. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Okay, 9 minutes past 7. 268 kilometers already done, and we're about to leave for the ferry. See you guys there. Alright folks, we are in Chester services. I charged up previously in Holywell, just a quick 10-15 minute break, nothing else. The roads have been very, very busy, and I mean really busy, and I'm actually getting a little bit worried about these Outlanders. It's been very busy with holiday makers here, but I suppose it's the start of the holiday season, so that was beyond to be expected. So far, no problems though. Zoe's been behaving perfectly fine. Did the first leg, it was about 15 kilometers to the port, another 100 kilometers from Holyhead port to the charger, so it was about 115. No problems at all this morning, and from now on in, I think there's chargers every 30 miles or so it'll be perfect. Right, I'm going to be meeting a friend of mine that I've been tweeting with for a while, and yes, we'll talk to you guys when we're back on the road. Right, Birch Services East. 3 o'clock. Now that charger is locked for some strange reason. It actually has a charger error for some sort. Somebody started the charge and then it locked the entire charger anyway. This one that I'm using has a similar one, but it only locked the DC. No problem to us, thankfully. So, quick comfort break, and I think 15-20 minutes should be sufficient to go on to our next charger, which is Ferry Bridge. Bye now. Right, Ferry Bridge Services. There were 2 leaves charging when I rode up, but one left in about 5 minutes. Last stop, before Hull. No problem so far. Great. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Holland and Belgium in Holland. I made it. I only got to film little bits and pieces yesterday, but not a lot. It's now 7:10 in the evening, and I'm just going to go for a drive just to give you guys a little bit of a synopsis about what happened yesterday. It was quite an eventful day. We landed in Rotterdam. It was around, I think we were in the harbour around 8:45, but didn't actually get off the boat until about probably about 9:15, 9:30. In any case, I arrived at the ship, or we arrived in Holland with 55 kilometers showing as estimate range. I think it was about 35% thereabouts. So that was plenty to actually get to the nearest charge point. Now, the nearest charge point was a hotel with a fast charger. And that was all good in theory. Of course, I didn't count on the fact that I actually missed the exit. So we ended up driving straight past the actual exit, and as a result, I actually ended up being very low on battery because we were on a motorway. The next turn off wasn't for about 5 kilometers down the road, and I didn't really know how to get back because it was a rather complex intersection, and I did not have my Dutch satellite navigation map for the R-Link. So we pulled over at the nearest exit, went into a hotel there, and I had a look online, and I bought the actual sat-nav maps for the R-Link, which I should have done earlier, but didn't. We then ended up trying to locate the nearest charge point. Now, as luck would have it, the nearest charge point was actually my backup charger, should the one that I wanted to go to not work, was 5 kilometers just down the road. However, when we arrived there, or whilst we were on the road, the alarm lights were on and everything started blinking and doing its usual stuff. And when we got to the charger, we were at 4%. So I was there going, yay, we made it. Plugged in, scanned my card. First thing I saw was your card is not recognized. I did not have the option to try a different charger, even though there was a slow charger next to it which had the exact same issue. It didn't recognize the card, so I rang the New Motion, their 24-hour help desk. They were able to get the charge started remotely, so big thank you to them. They had a look at the card behind the scenes, and apparently everything looked alright, but somehow even the next charger in Utrecht didn't want to read the card. The second charger in Utrecht was at a shopping centre, where we decided, you know what, we'll stop here and we'll take a break, and like I said, that charger also didn't want to read the card. Now, at that stage I rang them up and I said, listen, does this mean I have to actually ring you guys to get a charge started remotely every single time? That could get rather expensive from an international phone call. So I decided, at least until I actually was home, to continue using Fastnet. Fastnet is another company in Holland that do charge points, but they do it slightly differently. They've got the license for about 200 to put 200 chargers, or build 200 charging stations at the same location where there's currently services, so motorway services. So you'll be charging along the motorway, but there'll be 200 of these things around the country in a year or so. They have about 30, I think about 34, 35 at the moment, and two of which were actually en route, more or less, to Hardenberg, where my parents live. So I decided to just take Fastnet and get to my parents, and then try and sort out the thing with the card today, which I did. So there was one charger near Nieuwegein called the Kroon, and the other one was near a town called Weesp, Bornheim, I think, and that was enough to get me home comfortably. So then yesterday evening I decided to try the charge point near my parents, and that read the card and charged the car perfectly, no problems. The New Motion, in all credit to them, got in touch with me this morning via Twitter, without me asking, and said that, because I was sending out a few tweets yesterday, and they said to me on Twitter that, you know, give us your number, we'll have a peek, and no, they said everything should be working fine, so it looks fine on their end. I also asked them about the charge points in Belgium, which basically, well, I need the same card for the charge point in Belgium, so I need to know, do these guys work? So I basically am now in a position that I can say, according to them anyway, this card will now work. I've checked with the provider in Belgium, that card should also work over there. So big credit to them. They were very quick to get back to me, and they, I think, have sorted the issue, so brilliant. And that is pretty much it. So at the moment we are in Hardenberg. My holiday can start. I have, what have I planned journey-wise? I'm going to go visit my brother in a town called Leeuwarden, which is about 100 kilometers from here. So I should be able to do that in one charge, or at least charge halfway down. There's a few Fastnet stations nearby. Going to visit another friend of mine in Groningen, again about 100 kilometers away. And other than that, we're going to chill back, sit back, relax, and enjoy our holiday. So that's where we're at, folks. I'll hopefully film a bit more while I'm actually driving next time, because I got so chaotic yesterday and everything just slipped, and I actually didn't get to film what was actually a rather important day. But anyway, there you have it. So we'll talk to you guys again. Bye. Okay. So I managed. I wanted to try and see if the card actually worked. So this is a 22 kilowatt point. It's about 3 or 4 kilometers from my parents. It's the fastest one rated in this area, and it's also the cheapest, believe it or not. I just wanted to see whether or not my card would actually work, and yeah, it seems to be working perfectly fine. So that's a good thing to actually check. So it seems that we're okay. So hopefully that'll be the last of my issues this trip. I went through the UK pretty much flawlessly, other than sort of chargers being in use. There weren't any real other issues. So yeah, I'll just leave this charge and go home. Awesome. Talk to you guys later. Alright, here we are. We are charging at a charging point that some of you may recognize from an earlier episode. This is a 11 kilowatt point, and it should charge my car faster than the 2 hours and 10 minutes it's currently actually displaying, so I'm estimating that to drop. Today we went to a town nearby, about 25 kilometers away, and what I noticed is that because the country is very flat and the roads are very good, I actually managed to do 12.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Now that is the lowest. That's the lowest I've ever gotten it. Anyway, this is my local charge point now. I'm on my way to my uncle's birthday party, and I should be finished with that in about 2 or 3 hours. So when I'm finished there, the car will be charged, and I'm ready then for my trip to Groningen tomorrow, which is an 85 kilometer one-way trip. And at the rate I'm currently driving, I'm actually wondering how far will I get on one charge. I suppose we'll find out tomorrow. So the weather's supposed to be excellent. The weather is supposed to be something like 22 degrees, dry, practically no wind, so ideal conditions. So I'm going to take the eco route to Groningen, and we'll see how far I can get on one charge. So I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll leave this charge for a few hours and I'll drive it back home to my parents. My parents' house is only about 400 meters from here, so this is ideal. Talk to you guys tomorrow. Right, good morning, people. Let's see now. I reset the car tripometer to 0, and I, as a result, have about 125 kilometers of estimate range. I'm expecting that to rise for my trip to Groningen today. It is a comfortable 19 degrees and it's meant to be 22 today, so it's perfect conditions. Very little wind. I'm driving in a flat country. I'm going to take the route I normally take, which is a nice sort of 100 kilometer an hour road, nice and flat, good road surface, so I'm not expecting it to cause me any problems at all. Now, what I am going to try and do is see if I can actually see how far I can get on one charge. Now, it is 85 kilometers to Groningen. That should be no problem, and I'm going to have a peek and see what is left when I'm in Groningen. Who knows, we might get 160 kilometers out of charge. That'd be nice. Okay, so off we go. Bye now. Made it to Groningen. I'm about to plug in. I'm about a half a kilometer, I think, less from a friend of mine. Those are my totals: 87.5 kilometers driven, 14.5 great actual average, and 52 kilometers estimate remaining. So that's pretty good. Right, let's plug in and I'll go and enjoy my afternoon, and I'll see you guys when I'm back. Now we are back. Car is 100% charged. I had a lovely afternoon. Weather's gorgeous. It's 21 degrees at the moment. I I'm going to have to drive home now. I've got plenty of range left, so I'm going to take the motorway and we'll see how far we get. One of the funny things when you visit a country where they drive on the right hand side of the road with a car that's used to be driving on the left hand side of the road is that when you're in the car by yourself and you have to get out of things like parking, you have to stop the car, get out of your car, walk in, feed in the parking ticket, and then actually get back in your car and drive away. It's not too bad here at the moment, but in France, when you've got like toll roads and things like that, it gets really annoying really fast. Okay, home time, and I shall talk to you guys later. Bye now. Now we are home. That was an easy enough trip. So, yeah, it was 175 kilometers nearly. Very easy. One road, 100 kilometer an hour road, with the exception of both towns. And, well, 14.5 consumption, which is quite good. Weather has been excellent. I would not have been able to do this in one charge, because it's saying total consumption of 25, so it would be a bit short, but I would be able to actually drop it a lot lower than I did, but sure. The car may as well be charging whilst I'm not doing anything with it. It's rather than me spending half an hour on the side of the road actually having to charge up. Okay, well that's this trip done. Any more long trips planned? I don't think so. Well, I'll talk to you guys later some other time. Now, hello from another car wash. It's a lovely warm day, and I just met up with a fellow Zoe owner here, and he offered to actually pay for my car wash, which is very, very nice of him. So we had a lovely chat, and taking pictures of each other's cars and all that kind of stuff, and had a little bit of zoeology chat, just about how our cars are going, and he's had his since, I think he said December last year, or December 2013. So yeah, it was great, and thank you very much for actually doing this. And yeah, it was nice meeting you, and next time I'm over I'll call by for another cup of tea. Some people may have seen him in an earlier episode when I caught a Zoe in the wild in my parents' town. That actually turned out to be his car. He's very spoiled as such, as in he has an 11 kilowatt charger at home. So no matter what time he actually ends up going home, his car ends up oh dear. That went a little wrong there. My side mirror nearly got taken off, so I have to just do a quick rescue. Anyway, I better talk to you guys later. Bye now. Just a quick little top up. Where are we? Van der Valk. Hang on. At the moment it is 32 degrees. It's roasting. So, we've got a maximum of 30 minutes to stay here, according to the signs, so let's go grab some food. Right now. So after 25 minutes we are finished. We had a nice cold drink. And we are good to go. We're at 99%. Time to move. car standing in the sun for a little while. Got a little warm. It is not exactly 39, but it's about 32, I think, at the moment. It's pretty damn warm. It's 6 o'clock in the evening, so yeah. Anyway, home time. Now, charging again, 11 kilowatts. You can hear the fans going. It's a rather hot day today. Now, as you might be able to see behind me, there's some lovely dark clouds forming. It's meant to actually, we'll have thunder and rain and hail and all sorts of things tonight. So I think I'm going to leave Zoe here to charge up and cool down. And we will pick this up tomorrow. I think tomorrow is my mom has a market in Emmen, and we're going to go over and help her. I think some family members are coming over, so all in all it'll be a very enjoyable day tomorrow. See you guys then. Now, and the heavens have opened. I'm not sure if you can actually see this, but there is a massive rainstorm and some thunder. No, I'm not going there. I'll get wet. Yeah. Be safe, little Zoe. Now, it is now Monday afternoon, and we are due to go onwards to Belgium, which is we'll be spending about 4 nights in Ostend. We're due to do that tomorrow. But before that, I will be going to a friend of mine in a town called Zwolle, which will be this evening. So that's why I'm here. As you could see, my car was a little running low on juice. We are now at about 10%, I'd say. The totals you saw a little earlier were the ones that I have done since Friday, I think. Friday evening with the thunderstorm. We did a bit of driving around the place, not a lot, but 127 kilometers. And so far on this trip, we have done 1,462 kilometers on the nose since leaving my house. And I have to be honest, it's been relatively problem-free, considering what I'm driving and considering the differences in infrastructure. The only issue I've had was my charge card initially not working. It's been absolutely problem-free since. So whatever they did behind the scene, thank you very much. It's been problem-free since. I've charged in several places, and it's been absolutely problem-free. So I'm gonna plug in, I'm gonna charge, and I'm gonna go home, finish packing up my suitcase. Then go to Zwolle this evening. Might do a bit of filming on that road. It's relatively boring, as you might have noticed. When I talk to people about Holland and, is it really that flat? Yes, it is. There's not much, there's not many fun roads to show you guys, because they're relatively straight, boring, and precise. Okay, I'll see you guys later. Now, on my way to my friend in Zwolle, and I forgot it actually had a Tesla supercharger. This is my first time up close. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8 of them here. 2 charging at the moment. massive, massive setup. Absolutely brilliant and completely jealous. Now I'm home again at the local charge point. It is now about 5 minutes past midnight. Yeah, a bit late. Had a lovely evening. Played some video games. Had some good food. Some laughs. It was good. Right, home time, and tomorrow hopefully we'll be able to do the 400 kilometers into Belgium. It's going to be an interesting day tomorrow. See you then. Morning everybody. All charged up, so it's time to pack her up and move on to Belgium. Our first stop along the way, it's harder, right along the motorway over there, just straight off the exit, straight down. Made it in good time. It was about 55 I think when it started. Coffee and time to move on. Okay, we're on our way. Did a 24-minute charge. Got up to about 92%. Interestingly enough, a Nissan Leaf pulled up and was charging next to us, and he could charge at the very same time as I was charging. So it seems that over here in Holland, the multi-standard chargers can also charge an AC and a DC car at the same time. That is good to know. It just means that I will be less likely to be blocked at a triple standard. But we're on our way to our next stop now. It's 75 kilometers away, and we should be there in about 45 minutes. I'll talk to you guys then. Bye now. Hello from Fastnet in De Kroon near Utrecht. This is our next leg. We are going to go to a shopping centre near Antwerp with a charge stop somewhat halfway through, just because I can just about not make this. But I'll see what it's like when we're actually at the charge stop. I might be able to actually fully go through, because I'm charging to full at Fastnet just because it's a working charge point really. So yeah, we'll move on soon. Now charging in Oosterhout, as you can see over my shoulder. But one of the things I want to take you guys to is the local Tesla supercharger. Look at that. I so want one. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 chargers. I've been here for about 15 minutes. I've seen 4 of them already pulled up. This is a very, very busy supercharger. I think this is one of the busiest in the world, if I read it correct. Oh, I still want one. Anyway, time to move on. So, hello from Belgium. We are in or near a shopping centre. Free charging here at the moment until I think it's November. I have to get one of these at the shopping centre reception, which I did. And you can charge for free for the moment. It's a lovely Water Zoe Intense by the looks of it. Not charging, I might add. Love those alloys. Anyway, I better go and find my wife, because we actually did a little bit of a tour de parking, as she called it. This place is huge, and it was rather difficult to actually find the parking. But basically it's near exit 12 on the ground floor. I'm not entirely sure about the rest. Anyway, I'm going to go find my wife, have some dinner, and we'll move on to our final destination, Ostend. Here we are, charging finished, route plugged in. I'm probably not going to make it in one go, but I charged an IKEA for a small little while. Even though my range is telling me 150. But anyway, time to hit rush hour traffic. Now, IKEA in Ghent. Just for a quick top up. It's pretty much just plug and play really. you know, there's no need for a card or SMS, so just plug it in and play. Excellent. Good evening, folks. Welcome in a fairly windy but otherwise beautiful Ostend. It's a little late at the moment. It is about, I think it's about 10 o'clock in the evening. We arrived here about, what time did we arrive here? I'd say about 7:30ish. I was completely right. I had a bit of a delay at Antwerp rush hour traffic. Other than that, the journey went very smoothly actually, and yeah, it's been brilliant. The weather is meant to be brilliant for the next few days. So I'm really going to be enjoying a holiday here. Don't know if I'll do a lot of driving or anything like that, but if I do, I'll keep you guys informed, obviously. Now, totals. I had already turned the car off, so you can't really see my eco score. But as you can see at the top, 391 kilometers driven. A total of 14.9 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is quite good considering the car was 2 people and a lot of luggage, and an average speed of 68.4. Also pretty good. I drove about 110 nearly the whole way up. It's only the last leg from Ghent onto here that I drove a little slower because I didn't stay very long in IKEA, and as a result it wasn't 100% charge. It was about a 60% charge. I had 60 something kilometers left to travel, so I was thinking I better take it handy. But the car is still showing 21 kilometers remaining, but I think, judging by the battery, I think we're probably down to about 14%. So I shall charge the car tomorrow, and in the meantime I am going to go back to my hotel room and relax for the evening, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye now. Now, free charging and some shopping. What more do you want? Good morning. We're in the harbour in Ostend. Lovely day. This supermarket has a charge point with free 2-hour parking and a 22 kilowatt charge point, so that was perfect. So yeah, we're going to charge up a little and then explore the town. Weather is supposed to be a bit breezy, as you can probably see by the flags and things. But it's lovely. It's supposed to be about 22, 23 degrees today. So, brilliant. So, yes, onwards. Right. Hello, everyone. I decided to go for a little drive. My wife went for an afternoon nap. So I decided to go for a little drive, considering my electrons from this morning were free. I decided to do a little bit of a reconnaissance and also a little bit of an experiment. I'm currently parked at a charge point run by the Blue Corner. You might be able to make it out. Anyway, they're a partner from the New Motion. They're their Belgian counterparts, if you will. The reason I wanted to try this is because with the trouble I had with my charge card, I just wanted to make sure it actually worked on these charge posts, because they're basically the ones that are spread out all around the country. They're 22 kilowatt points, which makes them, good for traveling around the country. But of course, if my charge card doesn't work, it won't really get me very far. The other nice thing that I noticed, now I'm not actually signed up for this, but apparently each of these poles, if you look at the top of it, I might be able to zoom in there for you. Ooh, Jesus. My apologies, guys. The top of it, you see the Wi-Fi symbol there. Now, apparently they actually have, each of these charge points have built-in Wi-Fi run by, I don't know who, Telenet. It's probably a national provider, I'd imagine. So whilst you're sitting here charging, you can also check your emails and all those kind of things, providing of course you're signed up to them, which I'm not. So not very useful for me, but probably fairly useful for other people. The other thing worth noting, which I thought was very amusing, was the white fence in the corner over there. They're actually electric bicycle charge points. So there's 6 of them there in the corner. Nice if you have an electric bicycle, which I don't. Not yet, anyway. Okay, I'm gonna go out and explore the area a little bit. It looks like a nice little seaside town, and I'll probably talk to you guys at some other stage. Bye now. Good morning. It is a lovely sunny day in Bruges today. We drove down from Ostend, where we're staying, and I had enough to get back, but there was 2 charge points here in this city that were of the same variety as the one that I was at yesterday. So I decided, you know what, I might as well charge up whilst I'm here. So we are currently parked here. My wife is getting a parking ticket as such. I think there's like 2 or 3 hour limit of parking, or 4 hours even. But I'd say that's all we'll need. We'll have a wander around Bruges, see what the fuss is all about. It looks like it's a stunning city, and we'll be on our way to enjoy the rest of the day. Alright, and about I think we're about 40 minutes later. I'm charged. So I decided to I'm going to be moving the car to an actual longer term car park, because there's only 2 hour car park limit here, and for that 2 hours it's about €4.20. So yeah, it's kind of expensive, and it's only 2 hour limit, and we're going to need more, or sorry, we'd like more to explore this nice little city. So we're moving on to a underground car park about a mile away. So yeah, but Zoe managed to get everything it needed in the space of about 45 minutes. Good old thunderstorm coming out of our evening meal. And here I thought I'd have to go and take Zoe for a wash before we went on to England tomorrow. Okay, excuse me as I go run for cover. Really heavy but very localized showers. Now, good morning from the Panna in Belgium. Last charge before Zoe gets to go to the motherland, France. So yeah, it will be fun to actually see. It'll be about 100 kilometers. Should be perfectly doable. About 40 kilometers here, or less actually, about 20-30 kilometers here, about 60-70 on the other side. So yeah, it'd be great. But first we've got another, probably about 45 minutes to explore the promenade, which is directly sort of in front of me at the moment. And yeah, then we're on to France. People think that I can't actually pack a lot in this car. Yeah, I think we've got enough. Right, folks, hello from Dunkirk. I think you can see our ship's chimneys coming over the dunes over there. Right, now, we charge up to full in the Panna. Now there's only 56 kilometers left on the car, and I have about 65 to do on the other side, so that could be a bit problematic. but I might look up an alternative way of charging and actually making it to our destination. It is quite windy at the moment, so we'll see what the weather conditions are like on the other side. So far so good though, and there's plenty of charge points on the other side, so we shouldn't actually get stuck. We might get delayed a bit. So, bye now. The White Cliffs of Dover. Hello from the Ashford, I think it's the Julia Stadium. Anyway, didn't make it to my first electricity point, ecotricity point, due to several things. First of all, the Gale Force 8 headwind we had in France kind of knocked the range down to about 40, I think I had 55 kilometers on my car after I got off the ferry. It's still pretty windy out here. So decided to go for my plan B, which was an actual a Renault dealer, or at least I thought it was a Renault dealer. It turned out to be a Nissan dealer, and it only had a fast charger. I then tried a Renault dealer in Ashford, which is where we are now. Their charge point was broken. The following charge point we tried was one in centre town, which was a charger car charge point, similar to this one. The New Motion charge card didn't work, even though the New Motion told me that it would. The phone remote starting didn't work, so I had to abandon that one. The next one I tried was at the Civic Centre, sort of around the corner. Couldn't find it. The fourth one we tried was at the International, or the Ashford International Hotel. Theirs needed a charge card, which they didn't have themselves. I had to use my own card, which of course didn't work. So then my last ditch effort was this place, and my heart kind of sank when I saw the charge point and the charger car thing, but I tried it anyway. So I phoned them up and tried to start the charge remotely, and it worked perfectly fine, and we are now charging at 22 kilowatts. So, crisis averted, but I have to be honest, it was getting very, very close for comfort. There's something I haven't seen before. If you notice in the top left corner there, I'm seeing the estimate range counting up. I haven't seen that before. Perhaps it's due to the fact that I actually have a route in my sat-nav. But I have to be very honest, I have not actually seen that before. Very handy, because I have been asking for that. No idea where that came from. Must investigate. Okay, we're back on the road, down to, I think it's the Midway Services Road Chef. Charged for 24 minutes, eventually. It was a bit of a series of unfortunate events. I think my nerves were starting to get frayed a little, to be honest. But so far so good. So yeah, we'll see you guys at the next services. Alright, Maidstone Services. Just starting to charge there now. And we are going to grab some dinner in good old McDonald's, because we are absolutely starving. Let's see now, stop the charge. Come on, there you go. Now, that was 41 minutes due to a very lengthy queue at McDonald's. But other than that, we are finished. Time to hit the road again. Now, Cobham Services, or Cobham, or Cobham, or something like that. 35 kilometers left, total distance travelled 247. Time to charge up and have a comfort break. Hello from Fleet Services. We've been charging here for a while. We have yesterday we went to the zoo. with my wife's nephew. Didn't do any filming yesterday, but I basically we let the child run around the actual playgrounds whilst we were charging. Had a lovely day in the zoo, and today we've just basically been shopping, and these are the nearest services near, well, my sister and brother-in-law. And that's about all really. Haven't done much, which kind of is the purpose of a holiday. We'll talk to you guys whenever I have something to report. Now, hello everyone. It is Thursday morning, and we've repacked the car, and we're just about to head out to the Bristol area. We are staying for 2 nights in a town along the coast, Weston-super-Mare, I think it's called. After we enjoyed our little, I think we were here for 5 days. We had lovely weather, as you can see. Still blue skies. So we managed to buy a few of these rather large bags in a local sports store to get rid of all the small little niggly things we'd gathered along the way. So the car is packed, and it's actually looking neater than what it did when we got here. But I suppose as long as everything is in there, we don't really mind. The plan today is to drive past a fused glass supplier. My wife is a fused glass artist, and there is one of her suppliers is near Bristol, and we've never actually been there, so this is a good opportunity to actually go and see what they're about. I have a feeling we'll probably be doing 2 or 3 stops along the way. It's about 200 kilometers, and it'll be probably 3 stops because the car is not fully charged. And I'm expecting little issue, so we'll report back along the way. Bye now. We're in Ecotricity Green Park, or the Green Park, and there's an electricity point here. I can't get it working, which is a shame because it's running straight off that lovely windmill. Right, let's be on our way. Now here we are at the where are we? Reading Motor Services West. So we've been here for the last 26 minutes. It has been charging, contrary to what the actual charge port says. Lovely day, had our coffee, had our stop, and we are now going to disconnect and move on to the next stop, which is probably about 100 kilometers away, thereabouts. Now, hello from the Lee Delamere services. Now, interestingly, the Leaf that's currently charging, I was behind them for a while. It's a lovely elderly couple. I was behind them for a little while, and I was thinking, will I pass them out to beat them to the charger? But I didn't. Sure, we're on holiday, doesn't really matter. They're fine. They're loving their Leaf as such, but it's not really doing what it was advertised as. They told me. Apparently it was advertised as 120 miles, and they have yet to actually get past 80. Sounds about right. Anyways, we've got some sandwiches, and we're going to have ourselves a cup of tea, and we're on holiday, so we're going to relax, plug in when they're finished. They're only getting their coffees, so they shouldn't be too much longer. They're at 90-something%, so it is they are finished charge-wise as such. But anyhow, time to go and enjoy the sunshine, and we'll start our charge as soon as we can. We're charging. Remember I was saying earlier that I had the estimate kilometers up here at some stage, and I haven't been able to reproduce that, which is a shame because I'd like to actually know how much I have potentially in my range. It's a bit of a strange one. Must look into that. Now, and after a 27-minute charge, we are off. Time to get to our B&B. Now, good morning from Weston-super-Mare. I do believe it's called that. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it, but That's definitely how it's spelled. Anyway, it's a lovely seaside town. Very well known for its grand pier, which you might see in the background in a few minutes, as I'm just about to pull up along the coast. It is 8:45 in the morning. We spent the night here after the last video from yesterday at the Lee Delamere services. We arrived here in this lovely town at around 4 o'clock without any further issues. As you saw earlier, the elderly couple with the Leaf decided to give their Leaf a full charge. Mercifully, the actual charge point itself cut out at 95%, and I took the opportunity to unplug them and start my own charge. They had enough anyway. So I am, since this town actually has no charge points within the town, there is one fast charger, but it's a Nissan only one, and there is a hotel, the Hotel Royal, which I'm just passing. The Royal Hotel, I think it's called. That has a charge point, a 7 kilowatt point, but since I'm not a guest at the hotel, I didn't want to presume that they would actually allow me to charge. So I am kind of stuck with using the Ecotricity services, which are about 10 kilometers from here, so not much, but well, if you're a mile kind of person, probably about 7-8 miles. I had 26% left, so no problem range wise. Now, the one thing that I wanted to discuss this morning, or talk about this morning, since I can't have a two-way discussion, is that I've noticed one or two wrong things, and I'd like some opinions of people driving on the UK mainland. I have noticed there are a fair few service stations where you have a north-south situation, so there's one on either side of the motorway. I have noticed that you actually end up, the sat-nav doesn't seem to have a charge point on both sides of the motorway. In the case of the Lee Delamere services, I picked the Lee Delamere services west, which was the direction we were going. And when the map came up, I had a look at it, and I was initially thinking, that looks like it's on the other side of the motorway, but okay, it's the right name, so let's pick it. And it did turn out that it was the wrong side of the motorway. Now, when I picked the Lee Delamere services east, it actually picked the exact same service area. It picked a different point on that service area, according to the sat-nav anyway, but it picked the same service area. And when I actually arrived at the Lee Delamere services west, after cancelling my sat-nav instructions, which told me to go to the other side of the motorway, I actually found out that, according to my sat-nav at least, there was no charge point on the Lee Delamere services west. I have noticed the exact same problem with the, I think it's the Fleet services near Farnborough. I think the south, is it the southbound? I think it's the southbound one. The southbound services don't seem to have a charge point attached, but the northbound do, which is not true because there's charge points on both. So I wonder, are there any more Ecotricity service stations that have that particular problem? It's fine once you're local and you know where the hell you're going. Not so much so when you're not local and you have absolutely no idea where you are. Anyhow, I am on my way to the Sedgemoor services south, and the sat-nav actually has the exact same problem. Sedgemoor South is on the actual map twice. Sedgemoor North isn't. So yeah, it's a little bit of a strange situation. So I shall talk to you guys when I'm actually at the service station. Now, hello folks. Fully charged. Reason I actually didn't film anything at the charge point was because I actually bumped into some lovely lads from British Gas, who were actually doing a service on the unit, software upgrade, I believe, for the AC side. And I literally, they were just finished about 2 minutes. They literally just turned the damn thing back on. So it was after plugging it in, it actually didn't want to charge. So I was just asking, going, what did you guys do? What we actually found after a third attempt was that it appeared the actual cable was a little bit loose, and what I did was I put the DBT chargers have a grey handle, and I put that hanging on the little, I don't know, it's like a hook on the side, and that kind of holds the weight of the cable, meaning that it's not actually hanging off the car. And at that stage it actually worked straight away. Got my charge while actually talking to the guys, and what I actually didn't realise is that these two engineers are the only two doing the charge points for ecotricity around the UK, which is actually kind of amazing when you think about it. There's only 2 guys for the entire UK, so yeah. But anyway, got my charge and had a lovely chat. Thanks, guys. We am now on my way back to my B&B. Now, the other thing that I noticed about this particular location is apparently you can use the service roads to go from the south side to the north side and vice versa, which is, I think, exactly what my sat-nav wanted to do, because, as I said before, I had the Sedgemoor South chargers in my sat-nav, and it wanted to go via the service road, which actually says, you know, forbidden for everything except for authorized vehicles only. Obviously I'm not an authorized vehicle, so I didn't quite kind of want to take the chance. But anyway, we're all charged up and we're now ready for the rest of the day. We are going to go to the glass supplier near Bristol Airport, and then we are going to have a wander around Bristol itself, and I shall talk to you guys later. Now, just to give you guys an update, this is how far I've been driving since leaving Farnborough yesterday. Now, I probably drove about 40 kilometres today, just, you know, around the town and to the charge point. So far, I have done 2,857 kilometres since leaving home. Hello folks, after that lovely morning chat to the engineers from Ecotricity, I picked up my wife at the guest house we were staying at, and we are now in Bristol after a visit to Warm Glass UK. We are in the Millennium Square car park, and there is a charge point here on the wall opposite this, which is a charge your car point. It's actually source west, but charge your car is compatible apparently. But the new motion card sadly didn't work. It's quite okay, we don't need any charge. I'm still 55% in, I think, so we're quite okay. However, it was a bit of a disappointment. So we're going to go off and enjoy a nice afternoon in Bristol. We're at the Mall Shopping Centre just outside Bristol. That's a charge your car fast charger. Doesn't work with my new motion card, so whatever problem we had with the card still exists. The other reason I want to actually go here, other than the shopping bit, was there's a Tesla dealer here, and lo and behold, there's actually a Dutch Tesla parked right outside. So we'll go inside and see if I can actually film something inside the Tesla dealer. Found it! Oh, I so would. This colour as well, I might add. Look, no engine. Oh yeah. Now, done with our afternoon. One final charge. I think it's the Hanbury services, or I don't know, couldn't pronounce the name. Arrived here to find another Zoe had just plugged in. Wonderful little chat. Apparently my videos were one of the reasons why they actually bought the Zoe, which was nice to hear. Thank you. The only reason we're really charging up here, so we don't have to do it tomorrow morning when we're actually going. So, right, coffee I think. And we are at 99%, 25 minutes later. Time to disconnect and go back to our B&B. Okay, good morning everyone. We are now going to go on our way to the ferry. It's about 7:30 in the morning. Decided to leave a little early just to allow plenty of time in case of unforeseen circumstances, as well as I might be able to get a bit of a charge at the actual ferry. But we'll get to our first service stop and we'll see how far everything is. Should be fine. Now, Ordano services. First stop of the day. Time for coffee and perhaps breakfast. This is the state of our back seat. And we actually have a rather full boot as well. The accumulation of 3 weeks worth of holidays. So Zoe is driving back with 2 adults and, well, the equivalent probably is 3 kids and luggage. So don't ever say you can't go on a long haul holiday with a small car. We are at around 80%, so time to call it a day or a stop and move on to our next stop, which is the motor services near Cardiff. See you there. Now, Cardiff West Services. I've been doing motorway speeds, as you can tell. Have enough estimate range left to make it to the next services, which is only about 10 miles away, so let's plug in and start charging. And we are charging. Another result of doing motorway speeds is that the car had to start up the fans first. %26 left. Time for breakfast. We didn't actually have breakfast the last time. We went and I just had a cup of coffee and that was it really. So yeah, breakfast time. And we're all done, unplugged and ready to go. I have put in a route to the ferry, including a stop at the last charger, which is marked by the 1. Obviously I can't actually make it to the ferry, but with that I should have enough to actually make it and have enough to get to the charger on the other side. So I shall see you at the road chef for Pont Abraham. Welcome to our last stop before the ferry. We're at a road chef in a place I cannot pronounce because it's in Welsh. 34% left, that's actually quite good. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it would be a little bit less, but that's good, not complaining. So let's charge up here to full, and then we're on to the ferry. So it looks like we'll be at the ferry nicely in time, and I might be able to get a charge at the port. But I more than likely won't need it if the next journey is going to be the same as this one. Distance-wise it will be, so I should have plenty when we actually get to Ireland, even if I don't get a charge. All good, so. Now we are well charged, doing the cell balancing and things like that, and there was a longer than expected queue at Costa. The weather started to turn a little as well, so we had a bit of a shower. So I'll wait for my wife to get back from the bathroom. We'll disconnect and head down to the ferry. Now we're about 2 kilometres from the ferry. We're in Pembroke Dock. We've just stopped at a McDee's. you can see 54 kilometers left as a guesstimate range. I would say probably about 40%, 45%. Managed to basically just do the last 70 something kilometers in eco mode with the aircon was off. We had the speed limiter set to about 84 for most of the way. It was a 95 kilometer an hour zone anyway, so it wasn't dangerously low. And so yeah, I have plenty to get to the nearest charger on the other end. So all good. Now that's the totals driven at the moment. It is now, what time are we living at? 1:15, I think. And there is our boat, and we'll be waiting to check in and go to the site, and I shall see you guys when we're actually off the ship and back in Ireland. First charge back in Ireland in Wexford. We had to do a little round about a drive around the block because the entrance was relatively hidden over there, so we drove straight past it, then got stuck in one-way traffic and all that kind of jazz. But we made it back to Ireland. Hello. We fully charged in Wexford there. I actually didn't film our departure because there was some friends with us and I didn't quite know whether or not they'd want to be featured on YouTube. Anyway, we decided to grab something to eat, considering that the next two stops, or definitely the next one, doesn't have anything to eat around it. The next stop will be Waterford. It's about 59 kilometers away, so not too far, and we shall be charging to full there. Then possibly a quick stop in Fermoy before we actually are home, but we're on the home stretch. Considering we're back in Ireland, my wife decided that I needed a break. Thanks, honey.
I'm dying to drive.
Now the Waterford Toll Bridge. My absolutely beautiful, picturesque evening to be driving home. We're in Waterford. Fermoy is next. Didn't actually bring my card. It's charging already. Let's see how long we've been here. Been here 5 minutes. Now, I have to be honest, I am really missing the service stations in the UK because they would be 24 hours and all sorts of facilities, and in the meantime I'm at the back of a petrol station. But it's the best we've got. Fermoy is next, and then it's on to home. It'll only be about 5 minutes in Fermoy, and it's only about 120 kilometres to home. I don't think we'd make it on one charge, but you know, it might surprise me. My wife will be driving, so she might surprise me with very, very economic driving. Okay, get back in the car, I suppose. Now, time to move on. Next stop, Fermoy. Now, good evening from a dark Fermoy. I have my See Me Home headlights on just to provide some light for this film. I had to restart this charge a few times because the car wanted to start up the fan, and the charger wanted to end the process, and it was timing out. This particular unit has I think it has a wrong version of software. Anyways, we don't need much, so we're probably just going to stay here for about 4 or 5 minutes and then press on and actually just get home. It's midnight and I just want to go home. We are back home. Let's see now, focus. Better turn on the light on. There we go. We have done, I don't know if you can actually make it out. There you go. 3,413.8 kilometers since we started the journey, and a total of 446.3 kilometers today. Now, let's just have a quick peek and see. Vehicle, driving eco, trip report, and voila. A total of 16, that's pretty damn good. 446.3, 71 kilowatts used, 7 kilowatts regenerated. That's probably due to me driving in. I drove a lot with the speed limiter enabled to about 84 in Wales, so that probably helped a little. Okay, it is now, what time are we living at? 20 minutes past midnight. I am knackered. This journey is over. I'm going to go to bed. At some stage over the next few days, I will edit this video and I will be digging out some statistics, and I shall probably give you a summary of the entire trip, costs, charging times, distances, that kind of stuff. But I'm afraid I'm going to have to go to bed. Good night, everybody.